Well, welcome everyone to Caregiving for Veterans, Balancing Caregiving Mindfulness and Self-Care, and How to Care for Others Without Losing Yourself. My name is Arlene Schiff. I'm a nurse, an education specialist with elder care. I've been working with caregivers and seniors and their families for the past 20 years. Let us get started. Today, we are here to focus on what is the really invaluable role of our military and veteran caregivers. They're often called our hidden heroes. This is a term that was first used by the Elizabeth Dole Foundation and the RAND Corporation, and it speaks to the unseen and often unrecognized sacrifices that we as caregivers make every day. And just like our veterans, these caregivers serve and support, give their all, and they do face unique challenges that come with caring for those who have served our country. So as we go through our objectives today, let's remember that this presentation is about honoring these caregivers as well as equipping them with tools to thrive. So first, we'll explore the unique challenges faced by military and veteran caregivers. Caring for those who have served brings its own complexities. There's both practical as well as emotional issues. We'll learn how to identify signs of caregiver burnout and compassion fatigue, which are two very real issues that can affect your health as well as your well-being. And understanding these signs is really a key step in maintaining balance. We'll share mindfulness techniques that can help you stay grounded and focused, that will allow you to manage stress and navigate your day with a sense of calm. And together we'll discuss how to build a personal care plan, a roadmap for maintaining your health, your well-being, and personal goals while caring for someone else. And then we'll also emphasize the importance of surrounding yourself with support, whether it's family, friends, community resources. Creating a network is really essential to thriving in this role. We'll cover healthy boundaries and improving communication skills that are really important in managing relationships and maintaining your own space within your caregiving role. And then we'll discuss how to foster resilience and approach caregiving in a sustainable way. So you're not just surviving, but you are thriving over the long term. So let's begin with, are you a caregiver? Do you self-identify as a caregiver? Are you just being a good daughter, a good son, granddaughter, or friend, a good partner? The definition of a caregiver is a person who tends to the needs or concerns of a person with short or long-term limitations due to illness, injury, or disability. So when you think about it, ask yourself some questions. Does your loved one call you to ask for help? Do you find yourself spending more time helping a loved one or someone with special needs? Are you juggling work, perhaps school, as well as young children? Are you worrying about your loved ones that lived in another state? If so, you're a caregiver. And I think former First Lady, the late Rosalind Carter, said it so well. There are only four kinds of people in this world: those who have been a caregiver, those who are currently caregivers, and those who will be caregivers, and those who will need a caregiver. So caregiving really will touch us and impact us all at some point in our lives. And caregiving can really mean many different things. It looks different for each individual. It can be hands-on physical care. It can be just running errands. It can be coordinating doctor's appointments, cleaning someone's home, doing yard work. It evolves over time as the individual's needs evolve and change. Senator Elizabeth Dole, who is the founder of the Elizabeth Dole Foundation that supports military caregivers, said, "In the service of their country, veterans gave their all. In return, we must provide them with every opportunity to recover and thrive." Like veterans, caregivers are also serving, and they face unique challenges and responsibilities in supporting these heroes. My feeling is this quote really reinforces both the gratitude and respect that both of these groups deserve. our veterans as well as the caregivers for our veterans. It provides really a powerful foundation for discussing the challenges in caregiving for veterans. And some of the things that are unique to veterans are, number one, PTSD and mental health conditions like depression, highly prevalent among veterans, especially those under 60. The RAND study that came out in 2024 states that 33% of post 9/11 caregivers met the criteria for depression, which is nearly 3 times higher than non-caregivers. For younger veterans, age 60 and under, 77% attribute mental health conditions to military service. For older veterans, 60% attribute PTSD or other mental health issues to their service. The high rates of mental health issues in veterans really place significant emotional strain on caregivers who often would need potentially mental health support for themselves. You may see combat-related injuries. So many veterans experience really complex injuries related to combat. It could include amputations, spinal injuries, other physical disabilities that may require specialized care. And often these injuries require physical assistance, which then leads to increased caregiver physical strain as well as a risk of burnout. Traumatic brain injuries, known as TBIs, significantly more common among veterans, especially those 60 or under. Again, the RAND report, 21% versus 9% for civilian care recipients. Older veterans over 60 are also affected with TBIs. 50% attribute their TBI to military service. It's a complex care because TBIs can lead to memory issues, emotional instability, there's cognitive impairments, and that presents unique challenges in daily caregiving. There's also a prevalence of substance abuse. They're more common among veterans than civilians, with 62% of younger veterans having this diagnosis, and of these, 71% attribute this condition to military service. There's special emotional and social support needs. Caregivers often face really the dual challenge of supporting veterans through potentially an addiction recovery while also managing emotional and social implications of the substance abuse. There are vision and hearing impairments. Veterans, especially those over 60, experience higher rates of vision and hearing impairments, 68% for veterans over 60 and versus 54% for civilians. Hearing loss is often attributed to military noise exposure. It's 72% among veterans under the age of 60. So, sometimes caregivers will need to assist with adaptive technologies and communication strategies to support these vision and hearing impairments. We have also seen, toxic exposure concerns. 21% of caregivers for veterans over 60 or under have stated this, and 13% for those over 60 believe their care recipients' health conditions are due to toxic exposures like Agent Orange. And the long-term health risks, there's cardiovascular, respiratory cancers. So there are added challenges there. And then navigating the VA healthcare system. It's complex and it can be very difficult managing medical appointments, just understanding what the benefits are. So sometimes caregivers then need to take on that role of being an advocate as well. So again, there's very unique challenges for veteran caregivers. There's a tremendous amount of data in this 2024 RAND study that you can find on the Elizabeth Dole Foundation website. It's important to really recognize these distinct caregiving needs and the necessity of tailoring support programs and resources for both the veterans as well as you, the caregivers. So additional considerations that we need to take a look at. There's the sandwich generation, people who are caring for aging parents while supporting their own children. So the veteran could be a parent, and you're in that sandwich generation. You're balancing time and energy as well as resources between two generations and juggling work and personal needs. And essentially, you're supporting financially three different generations. Again, balancing medical appointments, school activities. And we need to understand and recognize really the unique stressors and time constraints that this group could potentially face, as well as the importance of finding balance, including the kids in helping with tasks will help. It teaches them empathy and responsibility, and engaging in elder care services for assistance, or just care for assistance would be helpful. You might be working full-time as well as caregiving, and balancing a full-time job with caregiving responsibilities is extremely difficult. We all know that. So the challenges are time management, maintaining your productivity at work. How do you keep your stress level down? How do you avoid burnout? How do you avoid missing work? You may be reluctant to share what you're going through with your colleagues, but know that it may help, and your companies may have benefits for you as well. There are EAPs, employee assistance programs, that provide counseling or referrals, sometimes even legal or financial consultations. You might, be able to get flexible hours, or if need be, caregiver leave, but seek help when needed. You could be dealing with the LGBTQ plus community and caregiving. There are unique challenges there. There's potential issues with discrimination or lack of access to LGBTQ plus friendly resources. You might be dealing with different family dynamics. You might be facing assumptions about family roles. You have to navigate the healthcare environments that may not be friendly to this community. And there could be lack of legal protections as well, if you're caring for a non-legally recognized partner. So it's important to find inclusive support groups and resources that understand the caregiving needs for the LGBTQ plus community, as well as being a veteran, and advocate for respectful as well as affirming care environments. You need to make sure that necessary legal documents are in place, like medical power of attorney, to safeguard the caregiver's rights. There are many resources. There are directories like SAGE, which is Services and Advocacy. You can utilize that, as well as other LGBTQ plus community resources. Then we also have to look at cultural awareness. It's important to understand, the different cultural beliefs and traditions as we are caregiving. You might be having to navigate language barriers or different family roles. There's traditional expectations around caregiving with different cultures. So you need to sometimes seek guidance from elders in your family or community to be able to align caregiving decisions with what might be cultural norms. It's so important to respect cultural values in caregiving, and seeking culturally appropriate resources as well as support. We know that caregiving is really a unique and it's a deeply personal journey. So it's important that we really recognize and respect all these diverse experiences, and really it allows us to support each other as caregivers more effectively and really compassionately. When Senator Bob Dole was recovering at Walter Reed Army Medical Center in 2010 and 2011, Senator Elizabeth Dole really experienced firsthand the tremendous challenges that face the loved ones caring for our service members and veterans. And in response, that's when she established the Elizabeth Dole Foundation and began working with the RAND Corporation to really examine the needs of the military and veteran caregivers, and also explored as well the gaps in services and recommending and making recommendations for filling those gaps. So I wanted to give you some caregiving statistics. There's an estimated 105.6 million adults right now across the United States that are caregivers. 40.5% of the population, which is tremendous, and it's only growing as our elder population increases. And among this population, 14.3 million are military and veteran caregivers. So from the 2024 study, we know that, again, 14.3 million military and veteran caregivers, which is equivalent to 5.5% of the US adult population. 74% of military and veteran caregivers are caring for people over the age of 60. Between 65 and 70% are children caring for a parent or individuals caring for a spouse. Over 20% of caregivers are friends and possibly neighbors. Among the military veteran caregivers to those who are age 60 and under, over half were non-traditional caregivers like friends and neighbors and distant relatives. And among care recipients age 60 and under, 84% have been diagnosed with a chronic condition and 62% have been diagnosed with a mental health condition or substance use disorder. So among military and veteran caregivers, 61% of those caring for someone age 60 or under help with at least one activity of daily living, which is like bathing, helping getting dressed. Of military and veteran caregivers to those 60 and under, 42% of these caregivers met the criteria for depression. 20% of military and veteran caregivers to those 60 or under even had thought about taking their own lives. So caregiving is a very, very difficult thing to do. There are also benefits that we will get into in a little bit, but it's important to understand all the statistics and what caregivers go through, especially with our veterans. The average time that someone is providing care for a veteran is about 10 years. We know that caregiving can be challenging. It can be emotionally and physically exhausting. And we want to be able to prevent caregiver burnout. It's a fatigue that doesn't go away, and the impact can be significant. You may have uncertainty about your ability to perform at work. You may start pulling away mentally. 1 in 4 caregivers find it difficult to take care of their own health, which is so important. The stress associated with caregiving increases the risk of developing chronic conditions, and lack of attention from fatigue can cause mistakes at work, can also cause mistakes at home while caring for someone that you love. For example, there could be an accidental mismanagement of medication if you're so stressed and so fatigued. So we know that caregiving can change your lifestyle and it can affect your personal life as well. So how do you find your way? How do you balance caregiving and life? You need to prioritize and organize. You need to break down job tasks into essentials versus optional, and to reduce that feeling of being overwhelmed. You need to have a work-life balance. You need to set boundaries to avoid overextending yourself, especially in high stress times. You need to try to be flexible. If there's a possibility to explore remote work options or flexible hours or even potentially job sharing. You need to focus on your family, engage with family members so they can understand what your needs are and how you're coping. Delegate tasks among family members and share the load. Ask somebody to bring in dinner once a week. If somebody is interested in finances and numbers, have them take care of the financial responsibility. So make sure that you're sharing your responsibilities. And set time aside for family moments and bonding to maintain that connection. As far as finances, you may need to create a budget that accounts for caregiving expenses along with what your family needs are. It's important to look at financial assistance, look into the VA and state benefits for military families, explore if there's any tax breaks for caregivers, planning for potential future needs, including your retirement and emergency savings. You need to be concerned about your mental health and make sure you're incorporating mindfulness. And we'll go through some of these things and how you can do that. But if you need counseling and support, seek individual therapy or family counseling. Encourage open communication with family members to make sure that not just you, but everyone is coping well. Take advantage of your local resources, the VA, local programmings, whether there's financial assistance or wellness programs. Tap into the local nonprofits like elder care. There are faith-based groups. There are organizations that support caregivers. Attend caregiving workshops or courses or webinars like this to help with mental health or self-care. Find your squad, connect with your peers, join support groups, lean on your friends. It's important, even for short respites, just to be able to take a short break. Engage with programs that connect you with other caregivers that can give you some guidance and support and encouragement. Most importantly, ask for help. There is help out there. There is VA support. There's respite care. There's paid in-home help. There's adult day programs. There are programs like VA contracted home care. You need to check into that. Sometimes you can get 16 hours a week of paid care. There are adult day programs that can provide very safe and engaging environments, especially for veterans. There's respite care for extended breaks. Again, a lot of these are VA benefits that you need to explore, and there are people that can help you explore these. And again, including elder care. Involve your family members. Encourage, caregivers. I can't encourage you enough to delegate tasks to family members and communicate openly about your needs and the support that you could use. It could be is that you might need some short-term care that allows you to take some time off without feeling guilt, because we all as caregivers feel that guilt. Utilize your friends, whether it's meal prep or errands, but again, ask for help. Sometimes you need professional help, and that could be home health agencies or community-based services that offer professional caregiving options. Caregivers, can arrange paid help for short periods of time or regular intervals if needed. Respite care is so important. Taking breaks is essential to a caregiver's physical and mental well-being. And there are VA respite services, so please check into those. There's also adult day programs, which is a great option for both social engagement as well as stimulation, and it gives a caregiver a break. You can utilize a geriatric care manager to give you guidance and help navigate complex care needs. They can help create individualized care planning. You want to keep things as normal as possible. Keep the veterans' routine normal. Try to keep your family activities as normal as you possibly can. Sometimes we know that veterans are resistant to care, so encourage starting with small, non-intrusive forms of help to build trust over time. But you can also, again, reach out to us for more resources and guidance. So let's talk about self-care. So important. Let's talk about considering your exercise routine. Do you get regular physical activity? It's not just for physical fitness. It's really a powerful tool for managing stress. It boosts your mental well-being. And if you're not currently exercising, think about small, achievable ways to add movement into your day. Seek and accept support. So caregiving doesn't have to be a solo journey. So how can you seek and accept help when you need it? Reflect on who might you reach out to. Jot some people's names down right now, whether it's family or friends, or do you have a professional support network? but allow yourself to lean on others. It is a valuable part of self-care. And you know what? You've got to attend to your own health needs as well, because it's so easy for us to overlook our own health needs when we're focused on somebody else. But neglecting your health can lead to burnout. So take a moment, think about, are you overdue for any checkups? Have you had your flu shots? Are you participating in any self-care practices that you can prioritize? Taking care of yourself helps you be there for others. Then let's talk about stress management. Are there techniques that you use or could learn to handle stress more effectively? We'll talk in a little bit about mindfulness and deep breathing exercise. Or do you have a hobby? Again, take some notes, write down what would help you reduce your stress. What techniques can you use? And we'll explore some more aspects of self-care in the next few slides. But we want to be able to offer you practical strategies and get you thinking about how you can integrate these techniques into your daily life. So almost every caregiver experiences burnout at some point. If it does happen and it's not addressed, a caregiver can really become unable to provide good care. And that's why it's so important to understand that caregiver burnout, it's a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion that may be accompanied by a change in attitude from positive and caring to negative and unconnected. And it can occur when caregivers don't get help that they need, or that they try to do more than they're able, whether it's physically, emotionally, or financially. So again, it's very, very important to understand what this is. It's important to recognize what the physical signs are. It shows up in the body as fatigue. You may have trouble sleeping. Your weight may be fluctuating, whether it's up or down. You could be like this woman and have frequent headaches. You might be feeling some digestive issues like indigestion or constipation or a weakened immune system, and that will make you more susceptible to your own illness. Chronic stress and social isolation can lead to changes in your immune system as well as your brain. They really don't just affect us mentally. They can trigger the physical symptoms, body aches, inflammation, even chronic diseases. So it's really important to understand it's our body is responding to prolonged stress, and we release stress hormones that can compromise our overall health. And again, we mentioned that many physical symptoms of burnout, like fatigue and body aches, are actually immune responses. Just like a runny nose during a cold, it's your immune system's reaction that is making you feel not well. We know that when we're stressed, the body releases cortisol. It's a hormone that's meant to help us manage short-term challenges, but under chronic stress, high cortisol levels can lead to overactive immune responses, and that can affect our emotions, our behavior, as well as our ability to think clearly. And sometimes excessive stress will make us withdraw, and we want to self-soothe and reduce stimulation. It's a natural coping mechanism, but when severe, it leads to isolation, and then that's burnout, causing us to lead to being not near our social connections and cutting us off from really all of our social support. We know that dopamine is a reward transmitter. It's released when we experience pleasure or anticipate a reward, but in high amounts, it can inhibit what's called our prefrontal cortex, which makes the brain, which is the area where the brain is responsible for decision-making and focus. So that would make it harder to manage our daily caregiving challenges effectively. Most importantly, I want you to know that caregiving stress is more than just feeling overwhelmed. It has real physical effects, and you need to be aware of these signs so we can take proactive steps to address burnout and support our health and really sustain our caregiving efforts in a more balanced way. And here we have emotional signs. So when we experience the ongoing caregiver stress to our body and brain, it responds in ways that are usually meant to protect ourselves, but without proactively managing these, it can really lead to some underlying deeper emotional challenges. So recognizing the signs are important. Emotional burnout, it doesn't happen overnight. It builds up gradually. And the earlier we identify these signs, the better chance we have of managing them effectively. So let's take a look at some of the common emotional symptoms. We see increased anxiety and constant worrying. We see frequent feelings of sadness or depression, even hopelessness. You may see irritability or anger, or you find yourself becoming argumentative over small things. You may be impatient or frustrated, and this may occur over things that wouldn't normally bother you. You may find it very difficult to concentrate and stay on task because burnout can really strip away motivation and the joy that we used to find in things. So you might find yourself losing interest in hobbies or activities that once made you happy. You might find that you're withdrawing emotionally and physically. And that could be because you're feeling overwhelmed. You might believe that nobody will understand what you're going through, but isolation makes that even worse. So we know that caregiving is demanding. It's so important to prioritize your emotional well-being and, again, proactively address these emotional signs that can help prevent burnout from escalating. You need to seek support, talk openly about your feelings, and even learning to set some boundaries can make a big difference. Want to mention compassion fatigue. It's the loss of ability to empathize and have compassion for other people, including the person that you're caring for. It happens suddenly, and it's caused by extreme stress that comes with empathizing with the suffering and traumatic experience of the people you care for. Again, knowing that burnout occurs over time as a caregiver feels overwhelmed by the stress of caring for a loved one, and compassion fatigue happens very suddenly. Want to show you a brief video on what is caregiver burnout and how to prevent it.
What is caregiver burnout? Caregiver burnout is a state of complete physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion. Caregivers report higher levels of stress than non-caregivers. 21% of family caregivers rate their overall health as fair to poor. Approximately 4 in 10 caregivers find their situation to be highly stressful. An estimated 40 to 70% of family caregivers show signs of depression. So how can you prevent caregiver burnout, and how can you manage it when it happens? Accept that it's normal to feel overwhelmed and stressed. Remember that you can choose how to use your time and energy. It's okay to take some time for yourself. Here are some ways to add more me time to your life. Ask for assistance with daily duties. Set boundaries and don't take on more than you can handle. Set aside time to do the things you love. Consider joining a support group. Find respite care. Remember, time away can help you manage stress and be a healthier caregiver. Visit caregiving.com for more resources for caregivers.
Are you all getting the idea of how important self-care is? It's so essential to be aware of the early signs of burnout. We want to be able to prevent it. And again, you can do multiple things to take care of yourself and stay healthy and prevent burnout. Listen to your body. Pay attention to that early sign of caregiver stress, like fatigue or aches and pains or even sleep issues. Regular physical activity helps reduce stress. It'll improve your energy and really enhance your mood. Eating a balanced diet, getting adequate sleep are so essential to maintaining your energy, your resilience. It's so important to acknowledge your feelings for your emotional wellness. Recognize and accept these emotions as they arise. It's okay to feel frustrated or tired or overwhelmed. It's okay to feel guilty. It doesn't feel good, but know that everyone else is experiencing this same feeling as a caregiver. Be kind to yourself. Avoid self-criticism. Caregiving is demanding work. We want you to be able to engage in stress relief techniques, whether it's breathing exercises, meditation, relaxation techniques that work for you. So you've got to find what will work for you to help relieve stress. There are so many apps for your phone or online to be able to assist with this. I want you to be able to set realistic goals, focus on what's essential. Accept that some things may not get done today. It's okay. Aim for these realistic daily goals and celebrate your accomplishments. I want you to be able to communicate and ask for help. Be honest with your friends and family and support networks about what you need and how they can help you. And be very specific when asking for help. It's okay. Giving clear instructions. Dad could use dinner every Wednesday. That would help me. Set expectations for what the support looks like. You've got to forgive yourself. You've got to let go of perfectionism. You've got to accept that caregiving will not go perfectly and that mistakes are normal. It's very difficult to do. I understand it. I am a caregiver, have been a caregiver. I understand it, but you've got to let go of perfectionism. Be patient, both with yourself and others. Sometimes our emotions tend to run high, but we need to remain compassionate towards everyone involved. Don't be ashamed that you need to take a regular break or take advantage of respite care. Consider using in-home care or adult day centers or a temporary residential care for a break. You need respite. Take mini breaks when you can, even a few minutes to relax or engage in an activity that you enjoy can make a big difference. Appreciate the positives. Think about some of the rewarding aspects of caregiving, like honoring commitments or sharing what are very meaningful moments, and recognize the positive impact that you have on your loved one's life. Sometimes we need to redefine success. Understand that success in caregiving can look very different than other areas of our life. We want to be able to value the time and the connection that we're sharing with our loved one, rather than really expecting everything to be perfect, and always have a sense of gratitude. Let's start talking a little bit about mindfulness. So mindfulness means paying attention in a particular way on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally. So again, the concept of mindfulness is a way of being fully present. And remember, non-judgmental awareness. It sounds simple, but many of us are always, thinking ahead, or we're dwelling on the past instead of being in the moment. So that's what we need to try to do. The benefits are it reduces stress and anxiety. Mindfulness helps us as caregivers, as well as our loved ones, feel calmer, which can be contagious. Staying present can help caregivers manage their own stress, and then that positively affects the person that we're caring for. If it has improved focus and then fewer mistakes, so you can focus on one task at a time, and this can reduce fatigue and decrease errors. And mindfulness will then counteract the cognitive strain of multitasking. It promotes focusing your attention and, again, reduces the likelihood of mistakes. It also will provide you with better self-care awareness. Mindfulness can really help caregivers recognize when they're tired or stressed, and then that allows for a timely self-care moment. Mindfulness will help us as caregivers recognize our own physical and emotional needs, and then it makes it easier to take a break and have that ability to recharge. It also enhances our cognitive and emotional regulation. Research has shown that the American Psychological Association that links mindfulness with stress reduction, increased focus, improved emotional regulation, and all of these are so important for preventing burnout. It supports your cognitive function, managing emotions, again, reducing burnout and compassion fatigue. So how do we practice mindfulness? Take deep breaths, focus on sensations when doing chores or listening to sounds around you. Focus on your breath. Even when washing dishes, feel the warmth of the water. Concentrate on the sounds around you. Bring attention to being present in the moment. Mindfulness really doesn't have to be complicated, and we certainly don't want it to be another task that's on your to-do list. But there's a few, simpler ways that you can be present throughout the day. You can take 3 deep breaths and focus on how that breath feels in your body. When you're doing a chore, bring your full attention to that chore, like the washing of the dishes, or even doing laundry. Feel the textures of the material of the clothing. When you hear a siren or a traffic noise or even your cell phone, stop for a moment, listen to the sound. What quality is it? Think about its volume. How does it change over time? And think about the quiet when it's gone. Even when you're brushing your teeth, bring a focus to what your arm feels like holding that brush, or what the water feels like in your mouth, or the bristles on your teeth or your gums. So it's important for whether it's short daily meditations or using an app, but it's important to remember, live in the present, stay focused, respond, don't react, because mindfulness really fosters thoughtful responses instead of impulsive reactions. And regular mindfulness, it will enhance your ability to provide that quality care without neglecting your own emotions. I want you to take a look. This is a brief video from the app called Calm, and you can experience a little bit about what it can offer. So please follow along, and let's do these breathing exercises together. How did that make you feel? Taking those deep breaths really gives you an opportunity to relax a little bit and decrease your stress. The next thing that we want to talk about is practicing gratitude. Gratitude turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It makes sense of our past. It brings peace for today and creates a vision for tomorrow. So it's important, if you can, have a daily gratitude practice. Set aside a few minutes every day to focus on positive moments and things you're thankful for. Try very simple routines like a gratitude journal. You can write down what you're grateful for. There are gratitude exercises. Reflect on 3 good things that happened each day. There's something that's called GLAD, G-L-A-D practice. Note one thing that you're grateful for, something that you learned, something that you accomplished, and something that brought you delight. Again, It's grateful, learned, accomplished, and delight. So write down one thing that goes with glad for each prompt. Give yourself gratitude prompts like, I'm grateful for 3 things that I hear, see, smell, and touch. Or I'm grateful for 3 friends or family members, and write down their names. You can start a gratitude jar, write things that you're grateful for on slips of paper and collect them over time. But it's important to incorporate gratitude into our daily life. Even expressing gratitude, for the person who made your meal for you, or sending thank you notes to people who have really made a positive impact on your life. Acknowledging how others have contributed to the goodness of your life is a really nice way to incorporate to gratitude. I'm going to play one other video for you about the science of gratitude. So let's take a look.
Research shows that adopting an attitude of gratitude, simply expressing appreciation and being more thankful, can measurably improve your overall well-being. For example, studies prove that gratitude can increase happiness, reduce depression, and strengthen resiliency. Grateful people often experience reduced blood pressure, less chronic pain, increased energy, even longer lives. People who purposefully express more gratitude report higher self-esteem than those who don't, and they're more likely to help others, a pro-social behavior also linked to greater happiness. People who capture grateful thoughts before bed sleep better than those who don't. Why so many positive changes? Because gratitude actually rewires our brains, kickstarting the production of dopamine and serotonin. Like antidepressants, these feel-good neurotransmitters activate the bliss center of the brain, creating feelings of happiness and contentment. This appears to be self-perpetuating. Research suggests that with regular practice, you'll train your prefrontal cortex to better appreciate and retain positive experiences and thoughts, and to deflect the negative ones. Here are a few simple ways to deliberately cultivate that attitude of gratitude. Celebrate minor accomplishments. Think about what you have rather than dwelling on what you don't. Tell the people in your life something you appreciate about them. Tell yourself too. Volunteer, hold a door for a stranger, or simply smile more, and you'll probably feel better, as kindness and giving are connected to gratitude. Similar positive brain changes can occur from regular meditation and mindfulness. Keep a daily gratitude journal using an old-fashioned notebook or a high-tech app. The science is clear.
Not only is gratitude important, but also self-care is important. It increases your effectiveness, maintaining relationships, and it also prevents burnout. So it's important to recognize the importance of support, understand that asking for help is normal, and identify the specific help you need. Utilize those community resources, investigate what's available in your community, embrace the purpose and meaning in caregiving, talk openly and share your experience with others. It's important to incorporate exercise and ensure adequate rest. Again, try journaling. Go to therapy, take advantage of it, use other reflective practices, maintain consistent self-care routines. It's so important to support your ongoing self-care. You want to create a self-care plan. You want to be able to participate in structured wellness programs that are designed for military and veteran caregivers, like Blue Star families. Engage in activities that are focused on self-care in social settings that are encouraging support, and you can share your resources. There's case management support, so utilize this. There's case management support at the VAs. There's also the Wounded Warrior Project that you can get assistance in navigating caregiving. And these services can include personal wellness, retreats, respite, as well as mental health support. Develop that personal self-care plan. Create that plan with guidelines that will balance caregiving responsibilities with personal needs. You've got to provide for your social and emotional care, join support groups, volunteer, talk to somebody, exercise, meditate, practice yoga, take a nap if you can. That helps your physical and mental health. Draw, paint. What's your new hobby? Make sure you laugh, have some fun. And again, relaxation and mindfulness, enjoy fresh air, listen to music. You need to establish small daily routines like practicing gratitude or limiting your electronic devices or engaging in some mindfulness exercises. The importance of boundaries in caregiving are so important. Communication strategies for difficult conversations with veterans and healthcare providers are important. We need to have a really good setting of boundaries. And why do they matter? Because they help prevent caregiver burnout. They allow you to recharge and provide better support. Boundaries also encourage the care recipient to then respect your time and energy as well. That then can foster a mutual respect. Boundaries also will reduce resentment and frustration, and this can allow for a more healthy and supportive relationship. Setting boundaries also will allow you to really give your best within those defined limits, and it prevents overextension that can again lead to mistakes or stress. So for effective boundary setting, you want to be consistent. They're most effective when they're consistent. Follow through on what you've communicated. If boundary setting is something that's new or difficult for you, consider talking to a counselor or joining a support group to be able to practice these skills. It's important to reevaluate your boundaries regularly because your circumstances change. So revisit them to make sure that they're still serving you well. Communicate clearly, be honest about your limitations and your capacity. Use I statements. I need time to rest. And this helps express your needs without blame. Define what your availability is. Set specific times when you can be a caregiver. Stick to those times. Communicate your schedule with the person that you're caring for, as well as other family members. Sometimes it's important to learn to say no. You can politely decline tasks that can lead to burnout. So it's important to really prioritize what is sustainable caregiving as well. You want to be able to encourage independence of the person that you're caring for. Allow them to complete tasks on their own whenever they can. Offer tools or assistance that also promote their independence. You want to reinforce shared responsibility. You also need to set aside time for yourself, even some space for yourself, some personal space, personal time, a little quiet moment every day. Again, ask for help. How many times can I say that? It's okay to ask for help. Reach out to family, reach out to professional resources when you become overwhelmed. Share that load. Protect your emotional well-being by setting these boundaries and limits, and recognize, when you need to step back if a situation becomes too emotionally draining, and seek support. It's okay to say, I need to step away for a moment to gather my thoughts, or I want to support you, but I need to recharge to be my best for you. So understand that it's okay to feel frustrated, and it's okay to say to someone, I understand that you're feeling frustrated, as am I, but I need to take a moment for myself. So remember some of these statements. Always remember the benefits of laughter as well. It strengthens social bonds. It promotes comfort and a really true connection in social interactions. It builds camaraderie. You're sharing experiences. Humor, when appropriate, builds trust with others, and you can establish a deeper connection. It really can create a supportive atmosphere that people can feel safe and understood. Laughter, we know, is a universal language. It transcends culture. It transcends language barriers. It brings people together. And Laughter even can enhance your active listening and improve communication because it helps ease tension and it encourages open dialogue. So remember to make it really a powerful tool in your caregiving toolbox. Support from friends and family in the community really play a significant role in alleviating caregiver stress. There are so many resources that can help support you. Connecting with others who really understand what the unique challenges of caring for veterans are can really help provide emotional support, practical advice. There's so many local support groups. There's online forums, counseling services that are all specifically designed for caregivers of veterans. You can go online and look up the benefits from the VA. There's potential financial support. There's the caregiver support program. There's the aid and attendance benefits. Feel free to use your cell phone and take a picture of this, or reach out to us and we can give you the resources as well. Organizations like the Elizabeth Dole Foundation and the National Alliance for Caregiving, they even offer workshops or webinars. So take advantage of all these. There's respite care and legal and advocacy support programs. There's the National Veterans Legal Services Program. So again, your veteran has served for our country, and that's why these benefits are available to them. So please take advantage of them and seek out help if you need someone to help advocate for you or explain what these resources are. There's also the VA Caregiver Support Program. There's caregiver support program teams that are available at each VA medical center, and they're there to help caregivers find the right support to meet their needs and also to enroll in the caregiver programs and services. So these are the numbers for the different VAs in Illinois. And again, you can look up the VA Caregiver Support Program. Want to always remember what the positive aspects of caregiving are, because we know while caregiving is challenging, it really can bring so many positive aspects to someone's life. Some of the key benefits are you have deeper connections. When you're caregiving, it really can strengthen the bond between the caregiver and the care recipient. You're spending more time together, and it really can lead to more meaningful conversations and even a deeper understanding of each other. It gives you a sense of purpose. Oftentimes, caregivers find a renewed sense of purpose and fulfillment in their role. You know that you're making a significant difference in someone's life, and that can be incredibly rewarding. The challenges of caregiving really can also lead to personal growth. You develop new skills, you increase your resilience, you gain confidence in your ability to handle different situations. The knowledge that caregiving provides an opportunity to give back to someone who has potentially cared for you in the past. This type of reciprocity can be very satisfying and fulfilling. Being directly involved in the care of someone that you care about can provide a peace of mind. We as caregivers ensure that our loved one is receiving what we consider the best possible care and that we can be involved in important decisions. Oftentimes, caregivers report finding greater meaning and purpose in their lives through the caregiving role, again, leading to increased life satisfaction and well-being. Very important also, by caregiving, people often set a very positive example for their children or other family members or friends around them. And then it can potentially foster really a culture of care and support within your families and within your communities. Again, it's very demanding, we know that, but focus on the positive aspects, and then we can help our caregivers maintain balanced perspective and find joy and satisfaction in our role. Providing care for a veteran allows us to honor their service and their sacrifices. That's deeply fulfilling. And it's a way to give back to somebody who served our country. And we know that, again, the sharing of experiences and stories of military service can create a special bond between the caregiver and the veteran. Once again, leading to deeper understanding and appreciation of each other. You find a sense of pride in supporting a veteran, knowing that you've helped someone who has contributed to our national security and our freedom. It's very gratifying. We know that sometimes working with a veteran involves learning about military culture and history. That's enriching. It also helps in developing patience and empathy, as well as that resilience. We know, as we've discussed here, there are numerous organizations and support networks specifically for veterans. They can help be valuable support services, emotional support, even a sense of belonging. We also have to remember that, helping a veteran with something like PTSD or physical disabilities can be challenging, but also incredibly rewarding. Seeing improvements in their well-being, whether it's physical or emotional, knowing that you've played a part, that can be very satisfying. And really, by caring for a veteran, you're contributing to what I think is a legacy of respect and care for those who served. And it can really be inspiring to others in your community to support our veterans and their families. So our key takeaways are, number one, learn about what the disease your loved one has, whether it's emotional, mental, physical. Find out about what's happening now and what will happen in the future with what they're suffering from. The more you know, the more you'll be able to plan for the future. Utilize your community resources. The more you let these services help you, the less you have to do. And we know there are places to get help. If you remember nothing, remember, reach out to Elderwerks. Take a break from caregiving. Take a walk. Meet someone for lunch. We all need to get out of the house every once in a while and do something for ourselves that's not related to caregiving. So get that support, whether it's a support group or a friend you can let off steam with. Depression is treatable, so talk to your doctor about it or seek counseling. Practice that mindfulness and gratitude. This makes caregiving easier. Learn how to do this, whether it's by taking a class or reading about it on the internet or downloading an app. We know that the right way isn't always intuitive, but it's good to practice it. Relax, read a book, meditate, take a walk, take advantage of your downtime, start a new hobby. Take care of your own health. Make sure you're going to the doctor, that you're getting your routine exams, that you're going to the dentist, that you're getting your eyes and hearing checked. Get enough sleep and make sure you're eating a well-balanced diet. Ask for and accept help. We know that this is difficult, but nobody can do this alone. Remember to forgive yourself and forgive yourself often. You can't be the perfect caregiver all day, every day. It's important to laugh. Find ways to keep your sense of humor on a daily basis. These are the important things. Let's take a look at one more video here. This is an 89-year-old veteran of World War II. He played for Kansas after the war. He and his brother were on the team together and played even in the Orange Bowl. And you can see from his face, this is a quote from his daughter, as you can see from his face, he loves KU and he loves football. It was a great day for him and our family. In 1946 is when he played for Kansas, and he was able to run for one more touchdown. You can see the players made it feel really as realistic as possible, and you can see both teams celebrated with him after he scored. His quote was, "I had a lot of fun, and I think I convinced them I can still play." So this video reminds us that even as we age, we can accomplish amazing things. Just like this veteran who scored a touchdown at 89, caregivers and their loved ones can find joy, purpose, and resilience at every stage of life. And we know that caregiving is a journey filled with challenges, but it's also very meaningful moments of triumph and connection and growth. And I encourage you to find and celebrate these moments just like this veteran did. He had the support of the crowd as well as his community, and caregivers have the power to find their own team as well. Whether it's through support groups or family friends or as healthcare professionals. We want you to know that caregivers aren't alone, and they can draw strength from the people that are around them. And I really think that this video serves as a reminder of how powerful community support can be, both on and off the field. Caregiving, it's the joy. It's about finding joy and purpose in even unexpected places. And like this veteran, he's experiencing the joy of the football game again. And we as caregivers can really find our moments of happiness and meaning along our caregiving journey. So, my hope is for you to look for and cherish these joyful moments, whether they're big or small. Joy is such an important part of life, even when you're in the midst of caregiving responsibilities. We as caregivers, like this veteran, we're strong, we're resilient, and we have to know that we're capable of incredible things. So take pride in your journey, knowing that you're making a profound difference in someone's life. We appreciate your dedication and courage in caregiving, and hope that you carry this pride and resilience forward like this veteran did on the field. So I thank you for your resilience and commitment. And again, like this veteran in the video, I hope you continue to find the strength and joy on your own journey as well. Thank you for joining us today.